Hey guys, Jay here, and today I will not be having my camera on, just want to lay that out. But this is going to be a update video on this build, what is my current setup, and also a little bit of information about the content that I'm doing. Basically, I have received a question from quite a few people. What am I farming? What is this build good for? And can it do bosses? Kind of stuff like that. And I want to address that part of the build, right? Because in my opinion, I mean, you need to kind of have a suitable content for a build to actually feels good and to actually shine, right? So in this case, let's talk about the build first. Currently, it's still 6-linked detonate damage reaction compared to the previous video, the latest one. The gear haven't changed really much. I currently am settling on this set and probably will be this current set for a while. Maybe the only thing that I will be upgrading immediately is gonna be 6-linking this, because 6-linking the fulcrum here, because I can add another spell into the Caspian Stunt, which I plan it to be the Ball Lightning of Static, which basically you will cast out a bunch of Ball Lightning, maybe Ball Lightning orbiting, you know. Yo, yeah, actually this guy is asking. I'm planning to do something like this as well, because we do have a pretty damn packed area. We have this area where we have a lot of passive allocated. We have this area where we have a lot of passives allocated. So this jewel can actually, this exact jewel, can actually be very, very, very profitable. I plan to talk about this one in the later part of the video, but since I just randomly received this question right when I recorded the video, so yeah, there's it. The Perandus Pact prismatic jewel. This is a pretty insane one. I'm looking at what should we do. Maybe we do live, like the one that he just linked me there. Maybe fire damage, because it really depends on if you need more defense or offense, right? Defense, there's a threshold, right? There's a threshold. You need to be tanky enough for the content you want to do, for example, Simulacrum. Then everything can go to damage. So I need to test it out. Okay, this is actually live. I didn't plan this at all, but well, I was just talking about this linked. If this is going to be 6-linked, it's going to be either Ball Lightning of Static or Ball Lightning of Orbiting or something like that, because that skill can potentially hit a lot of time in an area, and that means we can have a lot of life recovery just from it. I want to mention an additional upgrade setup that you can actually get to this build, which will be very nice, because the last 5 points of the build I'm going to be dumping into another cluster jewel. So we have 2 additional jewel sockets, and that means we can add the Watcher's Eye, and the Watcher's Eye is the Watcher's Eye is going to be vitality with life gain on hit, so we can ditch this ring over here. And if you want to go fast while mapping, you can do the Winter Weave ring. I believe I have one here. Just randomly throw it in here because I don't want to sell it, but it's like 1 to 10 chaos or something. Yeah, true. Yeah. Probably the socket near the start of our tree in the Marauder area. Yeah, which is this area, by the way. You socket that into this area, you gain a bunch of extra life from all the things that will be in the large radius around it, which is the current area around here. You can test it out. It can be here or here. either those is very good, right? So I already talked about the winter weave. It is going to be very good for zoom, but in order to maintain the same level of tankiness, you probably need the Watcher's Eye with life gain on hit while affected by vitality, and you also probably need another item to help you constantly getting in a 30% chill. So it reverse and it gives you 30% more action speed basically, and that is the Oria's End. And let me see how much is an Oria's End worth right now, right? Probably like 10 divine something. Yeah, 8 divine, which is very nice. We don't need to care about the roll of it very much. And this flask is pretty nice because it gives elemental resistance as well. Potentially, if you switch to Juggernaut eventually, you will probably need resistance from a flask, from a bismuth flask, right? But with the Chieftain, the Oriath N and the Winter Weave will basically allow you to have a very zoomy character, very fast. You can go through map very quickly. I learned this from watching Crouching Tuna stream the last 2 days. And yeah, I think I just want to mention that for anyone who enjoys speed. I personally, first of all, my budget is limited. I would like to save up for something else that will make my character basically much more tanky first. And yeah, that is at least that is what I'm looking for in terms of upgrade. My next upgrade personally is trying to get a Progenesis. Let me actually update on the price of Progenesis as well. It didn't go down, but it's stabilizing around 50 divine, which is okay. Probably in a few days of farming, maybe faster, maybe slower, depending if we have a good draw or not. Then we can afford a Progenesis, and with a Progenesis, and I can tinkle a bit with attribute and stuff and resistance and stuff. I may be able to fit in Eternal Damnation with this current setup with the Progenesis. I think that is enough for me to actually start AFKing in the Simulacrum. The way to AFK in the Simulacrum and, you know, trying to kill Kosis more reliably is actually to get rid of the Fulcrum. The Fulcrum do absolutely nothing in the Simulacrum. I think it's not reliable in helping to kill the Kosis in the Simulacrum. Very, very unreliable there. I will test it out. Maybe the self-ignite stuff with Chieftain is still good, but I doubt it. Lastly, I actually didn't use the Fulcrum. I just used the Annihilating Light, which will makes the Detonate Data Chain Reaction here deals triple damage, and that is very, very strong. Right? I will test out the Fulcrum, and then if it doesn't work, I will just switch to using the Annihilating Light, which is a much cheaper item, by the way. Let me see how much is the Fulcrum right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it is going down a little bit on price, right? So yeah, I bought it for 90C, so you know, whatever. I will still profit from it technically, so not a problem for me. Okay, the other thing. The other part of this video is going to be the content that we do, right? So right now, the content that I am doing with this character, I don't even have the 5th map slot yet. I mean, I can technically just, you know, easily buy a carry from Global 820 or something, TFT, something like that. Just buy a carry for like 50 chaos, I think, maybe a little bit more, but long story short, I can do that, but I just want to farm for the first tier 17. So far, somehow, I still didn't have a tier 17 drop, which is weird, but I mean, it is what it is, right? So this is the current skill tree that I'm going for. I am having 10 points left, so 1 from the Atlas, which probably is like a unique map. I need to do the Maven's Invitations, which I have not done a lot, and also the 3 Pinnacle Eldritch bosses. The next couple of points I probably because at that point we unlock the all the favorite map slot as well. I would probably go here to grab the favorite map slot, and then maybe grab a little bit more of a chance to drop Scarab, because there's a lot around, right? What I'm farming for here is basically I'm adding a lot of monster to the map with Delirium first of all. So we have a lot of extra monster from Delirium. Delirium actually works pretty well with Beyond, because you know, monster nearby each other, if they are very packed together, it is easier to actually spawn Beyond monster. So I grab the Beyond stuff as well. I do not grab this Keystone because I do want the bosses from Beyond. They die pretty quickly, so yeah, there's that. And also it's synergy pretty well with the content that I really like for early league, which is the Incursion. And this Incursion basically is actually a very solid method to make money for new player just by itself. If you are new, if you just get the Atlas, I would like to say, if you just spec into Incursion, which this one over here is the first one, you go through here, right? You get the chance for Alva. You go all the way here, grab the artifact of Vow here, so you have you will complete a temple every 3 maps. And I will explain why it is better before actually complete a temple every 4 maps. It's actually better for a chance to get the double Russian room. But right now, in my opinion, for Incursion every map is the way to go, without question. So we want to get that. We come up here, grab this one. These two will help you to upgrade the rooms much faster, basically. And then you grab here for a chance for monster to be at least magic. It's like 1/3, 1 out of 3 times, so you have a lot more extra experience from the magic monster. And magic monster drop a little bit more items. It has a little bit more item quantity compared to normal, so that is very nice. And then those are the 3 content that I am having spec'd into the Atlas. The other thing that I have are Scarab stuffs. So Scarab drop chance. Almost everywhere that I can, I will try to get Scarab drop chance, right? And yeah, I also have a little bit of exiles here. Reason why is the Scarab drop chance. The Scarab actually have this node, significant troves. So whenever we proc the exiles, we have a lot of exiles. That is a bunch more loot, a bunch more Scarab from there. Very nice, because they are all unique monsters. This Scarab node, I think Ambush is probably on average the best Scarab to farm for right now in terms of rarity and also the average price of all those Scarabs. The block content here, if you don't know this, I learned this from Rimro, by the way. If you don't know this, then if you block, for example, here you block bridges, you're not only blocking the bridges, you are not only blocking the bridges from spawning in your map like before. Now you also blocking the Scarab that drop to be bridge. So basically, if you drop a Scarab, it cannot roll the dice to be bridge, and therefore you have more chance to have the type of Scarab that you want more. And I am blocking bridges, Abyss, Expedition, Harvest, Ultimatum, Blight, and Ritual. Currently, that is the one that I'm blocking, right? So this is the strategy that I have been running after I use the progression tree to basically try to fill out the Atlas. I did pretty slowly, but you know, eventually I am done on the side of maps completion. And so right now I am working on this tree. I am farming this. This feels very good. Maybe I'll run a map in the end of this video. Well, let me see which one will feel the best. Looking. Huh? I think my son actually locked the room, so my wife cannot get in. Well, okay, let me actually find a decently good Yeah, this is half decent layout, so it looks nicer. I will not I will not hide away the fact that I try to make the map looks nicer for the showcase. But hey, it is what it is, right? I need to put back these to the map, and I normally have these in my inventory. Yeah, to roll the maps and everything. By the way, this build do not touch the bosses. This one I'm keeping so I can ask some of my friends to help me to kill it. I think that'll be the best case. All right, here we go. So the thing that I just re-rolled there was no regen. That is a little bit sketchy to run. It's not impossible, but it's a little bit sketchy. I would like to avoid that. And one thing that you definitely need to avoid with this current one is avoid the elemental reflect. All the other things are fine to do. I'll just run a random map here while talking about the stuff that we can actually do with this build. I think with this build, the strong bosses is okay. Harbinger, the Harbinger King can be a little bit sketchy, I'm not gonna lie. Holy shit. I cannot, I forgot to add the scarab. Well, normally I use the very simple, very cheap scarab of this one, Anarchy, so I add more Rogue Exile, so for chances to drop more scarabs. And it is currently, I bought this like 200 of it, like when it was like 1 chaos, but right now it's 2.3, which is still very cheap. And I also used a lot of this, which is this is half a chaos each. This one is very nice. I really like this one. It just adds a lot more monster to the map basically, and I want more monster close to each other to kill them. And let's talk about the things that this build can do very well. First of all, if you are kind of lazy, and I mean, if you play this build, you are probably lazy, just like I do. And one of the very nice content to do with this build is actually Expedition. So Expedition is especially the Extreme Archaeology, which is the one you place one explosive down and it would just explode in a huge area. Right, that is the very nice one to do, because with Chieftain Ignite Proliferation, you know that you would just explode the whole pack. The only thing you need to care about while doing Expedition is going to be do not touch anything that's, say, immune to fire. And beside that, everything is fine, right? The other thing that this build can have AFK in Ultimatum as well. I think with a little bit more budget, it will be more reliable to do like the last 3 wave of the Ultimatum. But from wave 1 to wave 7, it's okay. I mean, you can invest into the Scarab that makes the Ultimatum reward to be all Catalyst. Or if you are low budget, you don't want to invest in it, then you just run Ultimatum, and you have less catalyst, but still it's probably the best source of catalyst right now, and nobody's doing it, so I think it is gonna be a pretty good profit. Not gonna be any kind of crazy strategy like whatever. Like Rimro just shared, whatever Zizaran just shared, whatever the 59 Divine that Queen 69 has dropped in one map kind of thing. I think that one got nerfed immediately because people was trying to fish for it too much, and it's not something that GG really wants. So yeah, there's that. Let me actually see if there is any other thing that can be potentially helpful. For some reason, I am having like over 90% chance to have incursion in my map because I did not take the entire tree for it. I left out some not too strong note. Okay, so here we have a boss, so we will just stay here for a little bit because we have nothing nearby to explode him on, and yeah. let's just see what other content that we can do for it. You can do ritual, basically anything that has a lot of monster in a very close area. You will explode everything, which is very nice. You can do harvest. Personally, I don't think harvest is actually a good one, even though it technically is a bunch of monster close to each other, because the harvest mob seems to have some kind of, I mean, not all of them, but some of them seems to have some kind of penetration or overwhelm or something like that, that they would just deal a huge amount of damage to this character. Even the higher budget character I played last league would just sometimes still dies to random stuff in Harvest. Not even the bosses. I mean, so I'm not sure if you should take this one to Harvest. If you want to do that, you can test it out, but I cannot guarantee that to work whatsoever. So please do keep that in mind. If Harvest is your favorite kind of content, I'm not sure if this one will work well in the Harvest. Maybe you need to have a different defense setup, I guess. And lastly, I have like Mage Blood with the pre-nerf Elemental Flask, with the Defiance of Destiny, you know, everything like basically perfectly set up. Okay, so imagine this clear speed. If you want to clear faster, you can just use the Winter Weave tech that I talked about earlier, and you will be 30% more action speed. Of course, you can still have more speed because the flask is not even very speedy. It's just a random flask that I roll with gain charges on hit when enemies hit you, and yeah. What the fail? Okay. This doesn't seem to be like a very packed map. Maybe I rolled it too easy. Maybe I should have find a map that is actually much harder. But you get the idea, right? It's roughly what you can expect. Normally I will do 3 more incursion in the map, because incursion actually is really good with delirium and beyond. In the incursion area are actually like extra area in the map. So if you take the delirium node, I mean the delirium keystone over here, right, Unending Nightmare, and you will have like permanent delirium fog throughout the whole map whenever you go through the mirror. And that means you can actually always have delirium monster spawn in the extra area of the map, which is the incursion rooms, and we have 4 incursion groups, so that is a lot of extra monster. Because the delirium monster spawn, I think it's based on how large the area is, I think. Also, because they spawn with a very packed area in the incursion already, so anything you kill in there can actually spawn a lot more beyond monster as well. So yeah, just feels very nice exploding the whole screen, or maybe even sometimes 2-3 screen, almost the whole incursion in just one single explosion if everything lights up perfectly. Or you can just clear it very quickly. You probably see me did it in some previous video. Yeah, but you got the idea. And let me see through this again, and if I see anything that is glaringly good for this character. So essence is not good, because essences currently the way that you do essences well is basically you juice the essence monster to the moon. They are even stronger than bosses. They often are very tanky, so this build is gonna struggle with single target of very tanky, very tanky stuff. So at least with this current budget, I would not recommend you to do essence, because if you do essence and you do not juice them to that level, it's not worth doing anyway, right? Blight is something that you can do very well, because Chieftain, Ignite, Explosion, Proliferation, very nice for Delph. I mean, sorry, very nice for Blight. Ritual is nice. You can do ritual. Delph, I think you can do pretty well, but the problem with Delph is you can do everything in Delph very well except for the bosses, and sadly the bosses is the big money from Delph, so probably don't do Delph, I think. Legion is the big no-no. No Legion, please. So, yeah, probably I would say the things that you should do is Incursion here. Beyond, Delirium, of course, those are the things that I do. Also, you can do Blight. You can do Ultimatum pretty well. You can do Ritual. You can do... let me see if there is any other thing that I missed. Torment is probably not. Harvest, you can do Expedition. Harbinger can be decent depending on how juiced you do it. With higher budget, you definitely can AFK in Harbinger. I have seen people done it. Maybe you need a little bit more defensive than this current setup, but this is a still a very low budget kind of character. For Harbinger, I have someone with a Defiance of Destiny just replacing this, and he can do Harbinger very well. So Harbinger can be good. Right. Bridge can actually be good as well, because the bridges with all the juices from Scarab and Skill Tree, they are actually very packed together. A lot of monsters, and you can just explode the whole thing in one go. So that is another. Basically, you see anything that spawn a lot of monsters close together, that is a yes for this one. Strong bosses is good. Shrine is good. Anything like that is good. Just more monster is, you know, better for this build. And yeah, that is everything I want to talk about today. Probably a little bit more in terms of money making, because I recently see that people are sharing the broken strategies, and to be honest, I don't think the majority of PoE players, the average one, is going to be able to even touch those, because they are most likely very demanding in terms of initial investment to even get a good profit out of it. So if you are not already rich, and by rich I mean you have like 10-20 divines to just invest in the scarab and the juices that you need to run the content, right? Not just the build. The build can also be another problem, because your build normally has to be quite strong in able to handle the crazy stuff that can drop crazy loot, right? Like the giant nest doll kind of exile, you kind of have to be quite strong to deal with them as well. So yeah, most player would probably not be able to even touch those kind of content, and I personally think you don't need to worry about it anyway. If you are someone who do juice content, you probably know your stuff already, and you don't need to listen to my advice. I am a slow currency farmer, so yeah, what do I know? But if you are a new player, the best thing I could say is probably you don't need to care. You don't need to care about what other people are doing. You don't need to care about how much currency they are making, because it's not realistic. It's like the top 0.1% of people who are making mirrors and mirrors and hundreds of divine and thousands of divines. Those are not realistic for the majority of the player base. Maybe 90% of the player base are making probably the amount of currency that I'm making or less, right? So I can safely tell you that you can do anything in here. In the list of scarabs here, if you have some scarabs, you'll just try it out, see which kind of content you like, and just apply the scarab, and then take all the nodes. You search for the name of the content. For example, for me, let's say Blight, right? You search for Blight, you probably grab everything that is Blight, probably. Sometimes you should rely more on your build, so you don't take this one. But yeah, for example, if you want to do Blight, you invest every single point into Blight, and then you do Blight Scarab, and that is already enough for you to guarantee making money. Might not be a broken amount of money, but you will make money, and gradually by doing that, by doing different content, you will learn more about the game, and then you can just have a much better grasp of what you should do. Maybe right now, or maybe the next league where you start, you have a better idea of what you should do in an early league start environment. And that is everything I want to tell you today. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you find something helpful today. I talk about quite a lot of stuff, but I will try to section it well to make chapters clearly in the description. So if you want to, you can just jump to the section that you are interested in. Yeah, if you find this helpful or interesting, please consider to like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video, or of course on stream. Right now, I just want to mention again, I am streaming every Monday to Friday from 9 p.m. EST to 3 a.m. EST the next day. And so come hang out, ask me any question that you want. If you don't need to ask me, you don't have any question to ask me, if you don't need to ask me anything because you already know your stuff, then well, just come hang out, right? There's no harm in having one more players who can just play PoE and chat with you, right? And see ya, peace. Oh yeah, I don't have the camera on, so you cannot actually see me. I still hold up my hand with the V sign, classic, right? See you in the next video on the stream. Goodbye. Please like and subscribe.